Hello, everyone, and welcome to this powerful Lunch and Learn. And today is a beautiful sunny day. So I just want to remind everybody that this Lunch and Learn is sponsored by family partners of Morris and Sussex counties. And for those of you who might not hear about family partners before, so basically family partners provide services to families with special needs children or children with challenges in general. And its services are at no cost to you regardless of your income. And if you like more information about family partners, I'm going to put that information right below this video. Moving forward today, I had the honor not only having one special guest, but two, dfried and Cynthia Lapidus from the Kinship Care Clearinghouse, and they are also part of the New Jersey Adoption Resources Clearinghouse, NJR. Welcome, Dana and Cynthia. And the topic for today is just basically an overview of the Kinship Care Clearinghouse, KinKonnect. And we are also kind of going to touch basic in relation to the New Jersey Adoption Resources Clearinghouse, New Jersey ARC. Right, Dana? Lastly but not least, this is your host, Patricia Houston, and we're going to start right now. Welcome, Dana and Cynthia.
Thank you, Patricia. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's dfried, and I'm the Assistant Director for the New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse and the Kinship Care Clearinghouse. And I'm glad you guys can join us today in this beautiful, beautiful April day. I have with us Cynthia Lapidus. She's our warmline and training specialist for KinKonnect and NJR. And what we like to do is just give you a quick overview of what our programs are. And then Patricia has some questions, and then we're going to do some Q&A as well. So if I can, I'm just going to share my PowerPoint. I know PowerPoints are like, oh no, not a PowerPoint, but it's good, and we'll do it within about 5 minutes. So again, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. So this is just a quick overview of our Kinship Care Clearinghouse and New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse, and there we are. Dana and Cindy, and these are our websites, which Patricia will share later, so you can visit yourself. But let's start with Kinship. What is Kinship Care? We're going to be talking about KinKonnect, which is the Kinship Care Clearinghouse, but some people say, well, what does Kinship even mean? So we added a slide here. So Kinship is parenting children by kin or relatives. It could be a grandparent, an aunt or uncle, a cousin, that they're raising someone who's not their biological child. So a family could mean parents or children, extended network of relatives, and family really means beyond blood ties as well. It could be a really good friend and you really consider them part of the family. So we view that as part of the family as well. Just statistically, last year, over 8 million children in the US lived with kinship relatives. So that's quite a few. And in New Jersey, over 9% of the kids live with a kinship relative that's headed out, which being headed by a relative, not their biological parent. So that's where the KinKonnect focuses, is for the kinship population. So just to kind of define that. So the Kinship Legal Guardianship, or we call the Kinship Care Clearinghouse, KinKonnect, we're an information center, which includes lots of sortable pages to do research and to find a resource for yourself, for your family, for your agency, for your professionals. And we're run under the auspices of Children's Aid and Family Services. Children's Aid is an agency primarily located in Bergen County, but our particular office is located in Essex County in South Orange. But our program focuses on the full state. It's not county centric, we focus on the full state. So what is it? We have a warmline, and Patricia will share this warmline so you don't have to write it down. It includes resources, something called Kinship Navigator, if you've ever heard of that. That's a state program to help kinship families. We have a free lending library with books and articles. We have handbooks. We do training workshops such as this. We have a newsletter. If you'd like to receive our newsletter, again, when Patricia emails you, if you'd like to get that, give us your email. We'd be happy to send that along to you. And we give general support and a listening ear. So part of the resource directory, if we have time at the end, we'll actually show you our website. We have, for example, family support organizations. I just looked up Patricia's family support organization, and we're in, and you guys are in there. mental health professionals, crisis intervention, summer camps, could be specialty summer camps. We also have a link to general summer camps throughout the whole state. Support groups, podcasts. Now that we've become much more virtual in the last 2 years due to the pandemic, we have many more virtual supports like podcasts, virtual support groups, virtual e-learning training. So we have that as well. And again, focus on the kinship. Here's a picture of our free lending library. It's physically located in South Orange. But again, what the nice thing about this, we have over 3,000 books, articles, and videos in our library. And you can see all the different categories here, professional, children's, Spanish books. But the nice thing about it is you can go onto our website, you do a search about the topic that you want, and you request it on the website. It will go to Cindy, who's our primary librarian, and we'll send it to you for free right to your mailbox at your home. Included a self-addressed stamped envelope to send it back to us for free. So no need to come into our library. You can just search at the convenience of your home, find a couple of books that you like to borrow and request it, and we'll send it to you. So it's a fabulous, fabulous service. Again, Patricia will share this, but we have the KinKonnect warm line, phone number, as well as an email, and the other warm line, which is the New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse, which we'll talk about this in a second. So those are the two warm lines, again, Patricia will share. But we're open 24/7, which means you can leave a message and we'll give you a call back within 1 to 2 business days and follow up with you within the week. So it could be questions on anything. Could be a CASA worker. I see someone who here is a CASA. You need a resource. You need a mental health professional. You're looking for a support group. You're looking for all this information. You can go on our website or give us a call. This is the homepage of our KinKonnect website, just to give you a sense of what it looks like. And again, there's lots of different information. If we have time, we'll take a look at that. The other sister program, so that is the kinship piece. That's the kin piece. The other piece we have is the adoption piece. So our New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse is that we consider ourselves one-stop resource for those touched by adoption. And it's a much larger website. Again, information on adoption and foster care, the same lending library. We also do newsletters. We do training workshops. And again, run under the auspices of Children's Aid, just like the KinKonnect one. On the website, again, Patricia will share this, but we have adoption services, adoption agencies, resource directories, bibliographies, events. There's a nice way that you can actually add events. So Patricia, if you have events, you can add it for free and we'll help advertise it for you on the events page. We also have a section on the Adoptees Birthright Act, which is a relatively new act where adult adoptees can receive a copy of their original birth certificate from the New Jersey Office of Vital Statistics. So we've worked with Office of Vital Statistics and there's information there on how to obtain that. And we help support those who want to search or receive information on that. Here's a couple pictures of our newsletters just to show you. On the left is our New Jersey Kinship Connections. On the right is the Under the Arch. So those are the two newsletters. KinKonnect, we do twice a year, and Under the Arch, we do 3 times a year. And again, if you give us your email, we'd be happy to send it over to you. We do have 2 part-time warmline workers who speak Spanish. So if there's a question that Cindy and I can't answer because we're not, we don't speak Spanish, we'll refer it over to our other worker and she'll help. One of them will help us with that. And also the website can translate, the whole website can translate into Spanish with a click of a button. So, so that's really nice. Events, Patricia, I mentioned this to you. So if you have any adoption or kinship or foster care related information, conferences, events, you send it in through our website and it gets loaded in. And then this is just the information on the homepage on NJ Arch, just to give you an idea. And that's it. Contact us through warmline at njarch.org or warmline at kinkonnect.org. Those are our phone numbers. Those are our logos. And that's what I'd like to share with the PowerPoint this morning as a quick overview.
Dana, thank you. You did an amazing job, definitely. Great information, great resources, and all that information will be right there below this video. And since the topic for today is just basically an overview of the Kinship Care Clearinghouse, KinKonnect, and we are also kind of going to touch basic in relation to the New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse, NJR, right, Dana?
Yes.
So I would like to please kind of discuss the difference between the two organizations, so people in here understand what is the difference between the two. Thank you.
Sure, I'll take that. They're both run under the auspices of Children's Aid and Family Services. It's the same staff. It's Cindy, myself, and some other folks that I mentioned before, the bilingual warmline worker. We have a contractor, and we have a data analyst. But one is the first one that started with adoption. So the adoption piece was NJR. So anyone touched by adoption, foster care, that piece, anyone's interested in adoption and all that, that's the adoption piece. Kinship, that's the one we're focusing on today. Those are those individuals who are being raised by grandparents, aunts or uncles, an older brother who now wants to become a legal guardian to their younger brother. So it's not adoption, but it's kinship, okay? And that's becoming more and more prevalent. First of all, with the state of New Jersey, they're really trying to place families or children with kin, with relationships versus adoption. And with the opioid epidemic, with COVID, we just read an article the other day with the COVID. There's a lot of grandparents who are now raising children, right? Because the parents passed away of COVID. Any other piece? So that's the focus, is the kinship, and that's what KinKonnect is about.
Thank you for that information. And Dana or Cynthia, whoever want to answer this question, in relation to the resources that Kinship Care Clearinghouse offers, can you please give us an example? What type of resources do you guys offer?
Sure, I'll take that one, Dana. So Dana kind of had that in the PowerPoint presentation. So we have a website, and on our website, we have a tremendous amount of resources throughout the state of New Jersey, as well as some of the tri-state area. It includes the information on Kinship Navigator, where families who are raising kin but not connected to the state of New Jersey system can get information on how to become an actual kinship legal guardian, how to get some additional wraparound services to help them out. We also have a great listing of all mental health professionals for children and families. We offer information on the children's crisis intervention services like mobile response. We have information on summer camps, support groups. We added a lot of great information about podcasts and virtual supports. And we have like really awesome publications and handbooks and the newsletter that Dana had mentioned. We have the free lending library. So we have the website, we have a free lending library. You can borrow books for free. And then we also do training workshops in the community like we're doing here today. So that's another option. And then the big piece of what we offer is the warmline, where families or professionals can call in and ask questions. We can help you kind of figure out the website, or we can just do the research for you and help you to find supports that you need.
Thank you, Cindy, for that information, because I know since you guys do so much, so I want to make sure that, we don't miss any type of information or resources that you guys offer. So we want to cover everything right here. And in relation to the New Jersey Adoption Resources Clearinghouse, what resources they have for families that you can kind of point out in here?
Yeah, okay, so similar, because it's a similar system. On our website, we have, now, because we're talking about adoption, so families maybe using NJR because they're interested in adopting. It may be because they are, raising children that were adopted and are having issues or questions, or their kids are having questions and they don't know what to do. Or it could be we get phone calls a lot from families, adult adoptees that maybe, an adult adoptee who's 60, whose parents just passed away and they just discovered they were adopted and they don't know what to do with this information. So we have all the resources available to kind of direct them in the right direction, either through the website, books through the free lending library, the warmline again, where they can call and say, oh my gosh, this just happened. I don't know what to do. And we can talk through it and then help direct them to the resources. that would help them. And then we also have training workshops that we present in the community as well.
Thank you, Cindy, for that. And I also want to remind everybody that this is just an overview. All that information is going to be below where you guys can reach out to for the information in relation to this topic. So let's go back to the Kinship Care Clearinghouse. Who can benefit from these services in general? Let's say, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So that's me again. I'm going to take that one.
Thank you.
So as Dina pointed out in the PowerPoint presentation, you know, the kinship care is really the full-time parenting of children by kin or relative or fictitious kin. That would be somebody that a child knows that they may not be related to by blood. So it could be a teacher, a neighbor, a good family friend. And so it's really all about what makes up a family. A family's parents and kids, extended network of relatives with their kids. And like I said, it could be beyond the blood ties. And so the phenomenon of relatives raising children is really nothing new. In the past, it was more for additional supports when, say, someone from the younger generation passed away. But really in recent years, it's more due to the financial difficulties as well as the drug and alcohol addiction issues in the United States that are finding more and more grandparents stepping in to raise their grandchildren. And like Dana pointed out, you know, in 2021, there were 8 million children living with relatives in the United States. And in New Jersey, there were 183,000 that were under the age of 18 living in households where kin or relatives were raising children. So all of these people can really benefit from, you know, the services that we have at KinKonnect.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say the benefits of kinship care, you know, is really that it keeps kids in families. It keeps kids in their families. It helps them to reinforce their own self-identity and self-esteem because they're staying with family and the role models that are part of their family. They're maintaining those connections to their extended families, staying with their siblings, and many times staying in the community that they've been raised in up until that point. And it really just increases their feelings of self-worth, of belonging, and just allows them to receive those supports from extended family members, which is really important.
That's great that you're providing this information. And that's why I was asking that question, because I want families to understand that they don't have to be only the biological caregivers for the children. So extended family or whoever is responsible for the child. And if they have any questions in relation to further questions to this topic, they can reach out to you guys, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
That's what we're there for.
Yeah, thank you. And the next question I have for you, or either you or Dana, what is the process that you will take to get involved with this type of services?
Cindy, I'll take this one. Anyone can contact our warm line. So Patricia, you'll add the warm line there, but it's 877 KLG line. You can just call that and Cindy or I will answer, and you can just ask the question. You can email us at the warmline at KinKonnect.org, and same with NJR Arch. If it's an adoption piece, then it's the 8774 Arch NJ. But again, that information you'll be supplying, Patricia. But all you have to do is just call us. It's free of charge. Our service is free of charge, and you can just go on our website and do your own research and take a look at, you know, I'm looking for a family support organization in my neighborhood. I'm looking for crisis intervention. I want a mental health professional. I'm looking for a summer camp. I want a publication that really will help me maybe with my IEP, you know, the individualized education plan for my child. We have brochures on that. We have lots of information, and everything is free of charge.
Thank you, Dana. And what is the approach that KinKonnect is utilizing or is taking, not only to connect families, but also in helping them moving forward with their lives?
What we're trying to do is just connect the consumers with resources. That's what we need to do. So it's a matter of, you know, connecting the resources to the right resources, the right geographics. It may be virtual, maybe, you know, in person, but we're really trying to get that connected. Some of the strategies, you know, that maybe we can help with the caregivers is just not just the resources, but help them, and encourage them to take care of themselves. Kinship providers many times a little bit older, they're grandparents, they're not sure what to do and all that. And what we're trying to do is help them, encourage them, whether it be through the publications or newsletters, to communicate that, hey, take care of yourself, eat well, take time for yourself, do something that you enjoy, do some quality things with your kids, avoid isolation. Being together like this, whether virtually or together, is really important. And I think through the last 2 years, we're avoiding some of the isolation because we can connect this way through Zoom. So those are really important. Reward yourself. The old adage is, when you're on a plane and if there's an emergency, the oxygen comes down first, and they say the parent could, connect yourself first and then your child. We've got to they really have to take care of themselves first before they can take care of their child, or their caregivers have to take care of themselves. So that's all part of it, and ask for help, and that's what we're here for, ask for help. So we will connect you to the supports in your geographic area, or virtually if it's appropriate, and publications, anything that they need to help them through their kinship journey. And that's what our role is for.
Yeah, it's so important to reach out. There are a lot of organizations and services available for families, so you just need to get that information, and here you're going to have all the information in relation to this topic. All right, you guys please point out some of the challenges that you see caregivers are facing in general in relation to services or taking care of themselves, anything that you might see.
Yeah, sure. So when a kin, then let's talk grandparents right now. Like when a grandparent all of a sudden is now the primary caregiver of their grandchildren, there's a lot of issues that kind of come up. First of all, there's definitely more financial stress. Maybe grandparent was about to retire or was retired and now is financially responsible for grandchildren. Their roles are changing. They're shifting from being a grandparent to being a parent. That's a very different role. And then there's also that work-life change, like we talked about, a couple of minutes ago, about that retirement to maybe now they have to start working part-time again to be able to support their family. Their routines are shifting and changing, and they probably have a pretty strained relationship with their own birth children, their grandchildren's parents, because of what's going on in their situation. And there's limited peer support too. They've been around their retired peers, and now all of a sudden they're thrust back into the world of raising kids and attending school events, and feeling really isolated because they're not with people that understand them. So there's like all those emotional issues like isolation, feelings of loss and grief. Maybe they don't have a relationship with their adult children anymore because of this situation. There's fear. Am I going to, my child became addicted to drugs, and now I'm raising her children. Am I going to do a good job this time? There's a lot of fear there. And doubt and feelings of guilt, like why didn't I have a good relationship with my child that would enable them to not be addicted to drugs? There's all those guilt kind of situations as well.
I'm so happy that I think it was Dana that just mentioned it also, and thank you, Cindy, for that information, because it's really good what you just said. But I remember, Dana, what you just said in relation to self-care. It is so important to take time for self-care, because having, to take care of a child, and on top of that, like you said, Cindy, so you'd say like you're a grandparent, now you have to step to a different role. That would change the whole dynamic right there. And it can be really overwhelmed. So I really, really encourage families to reach out for support, to not isolate themselves. And, we are here to help. And now they have the information who they need to reach out in relation to this topic. All right, thank you. Can you highlight some strategies that families also can utilize, not only, for them to reach out to resources, but also for them to kind of motivate themselves to reach out and socialize and do things out of the box per se.
Sure. Well, you know, we encourage support groups, whether it be self-care support groups, whether it be family support organizations, whether it be other, you know, there are grandparent support groups out there. You know, support is so important, Patricia, right? So we really encourage that. When people ask us and they call us about, you know, questions about what do I do, or I need some legal help, we try to connect them to the right place. So really, we're just trying to support them where they are, where they're going. And then many times people call back, well, I've gotten this far, now I need this. So that's kind of our strategy. People contact us. We encourage them, you know, for support groups, resources, mental health professionals, publications, you know, talk to us. Many times people just call and they'll talk to Cindy, who's our warmline specialist. We'll talk and say, I was just on the phone with a grandmother for 45 minutes because she had to talk. That's part of it, right?
Yeah.
So we're all really trying to just support them. So whether it be, you know, the legal piece, the emotional piece, the I don't know where to go next piece, you know, that's where we go. That's what we're all part of. And then we'll refer them information resources, you know, to the state services, the private services, whatever it might be. So every call is a little bit different, and that's, you know, but then we always, of course, try to show them the website, and then they can see the information as well. So that's really our piece.
I think one of the unique things about our warmline is that families actually can talk to somebody. I think that so many grandparents will hang up and say, oh my gosh, it was just so nice to actually have a person on the other end of the phone and not, you know, push here, push here, push here, you know. So that's definitely a positive.
Yeah.
That's amazing what you guys doing. Thank you very much for the work you guys doing. And I know these resources are amazing, but I just want to ask, any cost involved in relation to, you know, this type of services? Like, is this free, or how does that work?
It's free. It's free. It's a grant. It's a grant from, you know, from the state. So you know, we work hand in hand with the state of New Jersey, but we have the funds from them, and we run it under the auspices of Children's Aid and Family Services. So it's free for consumers. It's free to families.
And then now, Cynthia, in relation to contact information, can you please go over in relation to that information? Because I know family need that information for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, while you answered, maybe I'll just type in our emails, Dana. How about that?
Sure.
And I'm also gonna put that information right below the video. It's just in case if there is any specific person beside you or Dana, then the families might need to reach out in relation to a specific question. But the information, you know, for the organization and Cindy and you, Dana, that information will be right below this video.
Sure. It's pretty simple. warmline@KinKonnect.org and warmline@njarch.org. So those are the generic ones. We have our individual emails, but, you know, for anyone just asking general questions, those are the best emails to go. And then there is a phone number. It's again 877-KLG line. And again, you'll have that, Patricia. I know you'll write that down. And then for NJARCH is 8774-ARCH-NJ.
Thank you. And in regard to questions related to New Jersey Adoption Resource Clearinghouse, who is the person that families can contact for further information?
It's us. It's Cindy and myself. So
there we go.
It's us.
There we go.
Yep.
Good.
So I run both programs, NJARCH and
awesome.
KinKonnect. Yeah, and Cindy is my right-hand person, and we run it. And this is, you know, it's the same people who support both. So think of it as two different arms, same people, and they're working. One arm for kinship arm and the other arm for adoption and foster care.
Awesome. That's so great when you can have a face, because if somebody sees this presentation and they're going to call, at least they know who they're talking to. That's awesome. Thank you, Dana and Cynthia. Sure. All right. So let's recap, because we definitely want to allow time for families to ask questions. We're going to have 20 minutes to do Q&A. So let's recap in relation to everything we just spoken here. Who would like to go over that?
I think we have a question. Oh, I guess we'll do that at the end. Kelly will do that at the end, right? Okay, so again, the Kinship Care Clearinghouse is for kin, raising their kin, or it could be, you know, any relationship that you're not biologically a biological parent, but a grandparent, an aunt or uncle, a fictitious kin, as Cindy said. We support the kinship piece, and that's a website, a warm line, and we'd love to show you the website if we have time. And then adoption, NJR, which is really for those touched by adoption. So those are two different pieces, one for kin, one for adoption. We're an information resource center, and you're welcome to call us anytime, and you know, we'll answer the questions as best we can.
Thank you very much. And I know that now, actually, we just finished the presentation, so we're gonna allow time for families to ask questions and provided whoever is joining this call. So I just wanna say to you, Dana, and also Cindy, thank you very much for taking the time and doing this presentation for us and everybody in here. So thank you very much. So I'm gonna stop the recorder.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Patricia. Thank you very much
Thank
for the
you so
opportunity.
much.
Thank you.
No, thank you both. And I'm going to stop the recorder right now. So for families to know that they can ask their questions. And thank you very much. So I'm going to stop right now.